living room of not his house, but Krishna's house that he is rendering service. All right. So, dear devotees, let's begin and then we'll welcome you in just a moment. Vande Sri Guru. Somebody's got a microphone on. Who is on administration? Please keep an eye. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuttapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagan Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitam Cha Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Chalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratuje Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Viprasindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, please everybody choose your language because we do have different languages running. So for us, we're going to choose English because we're speaking English. And then there will be, if someone's speaking Russian, we will hear the translation. If somebody is speaking Portuguese, we will hear the translation and vice versa. All right, and Kirtida, very happily seeing you with us, Kirtida, Jai Gurudev. And all the way over in Brazil, also Malati Pier, we've got Nazar in the Ukraine. We may be in the pathway, we got lots of devotees. I'm using the tablet because we are traveling light, just as light as possible just at the moment, for a very good reason. And so I can't always see everyone who's present. However, Devashis has given us a topic, which is what sadhana? When I first read it, I thought, what is Devashis implying by this? What sadhana? Just give me a second. Devashis, I'm passing over to you. And please, you look after everybody and yourself just for a moment. Hare Krishna.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. And you see that Srila Madhusudan Maharaj is in Rome at the moment, some retreat program going on there, but he still very graciously said he would give us some of his time this evening. So what sadhana? It isn't meant as a rhetorical question or like, what sadhana? Like, no, it's actually what did Mahaprabhu consider to be most important sadhana? And he goes, in Hari Bhakti Vilas, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, both places it's mentioned over 1,000 different items of sadhana, and generally considered 64 items of sadhana, and so many other different expressions of that. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we find Sadhu Sangha, Namakirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Basa, Shri Murtira Shradaya Seva. So this is the, excuse me. So this Mahaprabhu considered these five items to be the most essential items of sadhana for aspiring Vaishnavas. which we all are, hopefully. So first of all, of course, Nama Kirtan. So Nama Kirtan, although the verse actually says Sadhu Sangha, so because only through Sadhu Sangha do we get the impetus for Nama Kirtan. So Sadhu Sangha mentioned first. Sadhu Sangha means, of course, the association of saints, or the association of the devotees, the Vaishnavas, other aspirants in the same line as ourselves, those who trying to practice Krishna consciousness. We're always advised to keep company with those, and to seek out the company of those who are more advanced than we are, more mature in their spiritual life, with deeper realization and some higher understanding. If we can find that kind of Vaishnava, that's very good. And of course, the highest type of Vaishnava, Uttamadhikari Bhakta, if we can find their association, then our path will be assured, if our association is in the proper way. So first of all, Sadhu Sangha. Second, Nama Kirtan. So that means both chanting together congregationally and performing japa as part of our sadhana every day. But Guru Maharaj would often say, Mahaprabhu is the Messiah of Sankirtan, not the Messiah of japa. So the most important preference by our Guru Varga has been given to Nama Sankirtan, that the devotees chant together in the congregational way, and that will be more fruitful to us. And Bhagavat Shravan. So Bhagavat Shravan means to hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day. And Srimad Bhagavatam, or those literatures that are in line with Srimad Bhagavatam, those literatures giving the same purport as Srimad Bhagavatam, giving the very gist of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that would include Chaitanya Charitamrita. That will also include the books of our gurus, because they are the recorded expressions of the person Bhagavat, if you like, the person Bhagavat and the book Bhagavat. The book Bhagavat means Srimad Bhagavatam, and the person Bhagavat means who is practicing and preaching and has realized the inner meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that those devotees, we should try to attend them, and that means to hear from them, to serve them, and also, when that's not possible directly, to read the books that they've provided for us. So we know in our own lives three very prominent Uttamadhikari Paramahansa Vaishnavas, that is Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dadev Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. So they are of that order of Vaishnava. So if we can get their association through reading and studying their books, that'll be very good. So not just always, oh yeah, I read that one. I've already read that one. No, but again and again, those books we are meant to read. Srila Govinda Maharaj said, from my childhood, I love Bhagavad Gita very much. And even now, in my last days, when I read that, I'm getting some new realization from that. So that's Bhagavat Shravan. Then a Mathura Basa. So Mathura Basa literally means to live in Mathura, or the place where Vrindavan is found. Vrindavan is in Mathura district. It is the place where Krishna appeared and showed his pastimes to the world. But it doesn't mean, that we should pack up shop and all move to Vrindavan, because that may be more injurious to us than helpful to us while we're in a conditioned state. Srila Guru Maharaj said, Vrindavan is for the liberated souls. So we fallen souls, we're advised, just spend a few days there and be respectful to everybody, and in a very reverential mood we can approach Vrindavan. You know that saying, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. So we should always remember that when we're approaching the higher world. And Guru Maharaj said Navadip is much more suitable for the fallen souls, because there no offenses are considered, and where Guru Maharaj made his mot, Aparadera Banjanapat, that place Mahaprabhu forgave everybody their sins, their offenses. So if we can go there, and it says if you spend one night in that Aparada Banjanapat area of Navadvip, all your offenses will be forgiven. So that's very good for us. But also it means anywhere where that is being practiced, the religion of love as taught by Sri Chaitanya Devi, so many centers around the world, we can live there in one of those centers, or we can make our own home a center for Krishna consciousness, and that will be Mathura Vasa. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, wherever I see the worship of Radha and Govinda in my home, I feel that I feel that Goloka Vrindavan has appeared in my own home. So of course we are not Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but following in that footsteps of him and aspiring for the devotion like him, then we can make our own home as Mathura Vasa. And if we can serve the centers established by the Vaishnavas, established by our gurus, where the deity of Krishna has been installed there, and that is also very good. That is Mathura Vasa. And finally, of those of the five, Sri Murtira Shradaya Sevan. So that means to serve the deity of Krishna, the Sri Murti of Sri Krishna, with faith. So in most of our centers, some deity of Krishna has been established there, and Mahaprabhu also, and we can worship them and with faith. They're non-different. Murti means non-different manifestation of Krishna in this world. If we have faith in that, then we should offer our worship there. And our gurus have very graciously established these centers so that we have the opportunity to serve Krishna there. And we should understand that serving Krishna here is not different from serving Krishna in the spiritual world. Only maybe our vision of that is different, but the benefit and the act service is the same. To serve Krishna here is as good as serving Krishna there. So not to forget that. So really, those five things, they should be our sadhana. So that is the association with the Vaishnavas, Nama Sankirtan, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, residing in the holy place, and worshipping the Murti of the Lord with all faith. So these five, Mahaprabhu considered the best of all of the items of sadhana. So I have actually found a little excerpt from one of the books of Srila Govinda Maharaj speaking about this in one of his lectures. So I'm going to read that. It's not very long. I'll read that, and then we can see if Srila Madhusudan Maharaj is still with us. So when this is Srila Govinda Maharaj speaking now. When Srila Guru Maharaj established this Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, he simply wanted a place to practice devotional life, along with a very few followers. But now it has grown in a very big way, and day by day, in order to help others, it is growing bigger. But the line of Srila Guru Maharaj is a very exclusive devotional line. If we want to serve Srila Guru Maharaj exclusively and not see anything else, we will be relieved of all trouble. We must try to serve Guru very attentively, for only then will we get that chance. Otherwise, we will be cheated. Srila Guru Maharaj was very simple-hearted. He did not want to cheat anyone, and that is why he did not make many complications. In his life, he only showed Krishna and Krishna Bhakti, and we are also trying to proceed within the line of his vision. But if his mercy will not act within us, we will not get that. So, in an exclusive way, we must try to satisfy Srila Guru Maharaj. Then he will be very happy. Under the guidance of our mind, we may try many things, but that is not really bhakti. Our mind is always going this way and that way. The fickle and mad mind can do anything, but a good result will not always come from that. If we do good things, then a good result will come to us. If we do not, then a bad result will come to us. Such is our position. We will gain relief from the illusory environment only if, in an exclusive way, we try to follow our Gurudev. Many people can say many things. Also, the Shastras are very vast. All the scriptures are full of knowledge, no doubt, but they are so vast that we cannot discover from them what is good for us. But the Sadhu, Guru, and the Vaishnavas simply try to satisfy Krishna, and if we follow them, we will easily get the full result of all scriptural advice. Therefore, we shall try to proceed in a simple way. Mahaprabhu has also instructed us that it is not necessary to do many things. Just chant Hare Krishna, engage in Vaishnav Seva, and do Prasad Seva. Sadhu Sangha Namakirtana, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathurabhasa Sri Murtira Shradaya Sevan. Shakala Sadhana Shrestha E Pancha Anga, Krishna Prema Janmaye Panchera Alpashanga. So this is that verse that I said, and there's the next verse also. They're both from Chaitanya Charitamrita, from the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 22. And so the first describes those 5 things, and the next verse, because they're not the direct translation isn't given here, but the second verse, this is Sakala Sadhana Shrestha E Pancha Anga, Krishna Prema Janmaya E Panchera Alpasanga. That verse says, if one does even one of these things with faith, with heart, then guaranteed that Krishna Prema must be born in their heart. And this is Mahaprabhu's words. This is Mahaprabhu speaking through these verses. And Gurudev continues, try to satisfy the servitors of Krishna, and you will easily receive the result, Krishna Prema, through them. This path is very simple. Chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and engage in Vaishnava Seva. Don't look this side or that, but give your attention only to the service of Gurudev and the Vaishnavas, and that will be helpful to you. Then a devotee has a question. He says, in the West, one of the most common questions the devotees ask is how they can have a service connection. What service can they do? We tell them that they can help the mott in various ways and give some service donation, and in this way engage themselves in connection with here. But especially in the West, life is very full, and there is always the opportunity of complete engagement in Maya. We know that. There are newspapers, televisions, radio, etc. And this is before the internet, actually. The devotees have their work, their family, and so many things. So they want to know how they can feel that they have a constant seva connection, some bhakti connection going on daily, as well as giving and helping the central mott. What can they do? So Srila Govinda Maharaj's reply, I am thinking that they know better than myself. That is, they are doing it, and they are trying to serve. Still, it is true, how will they feel connected? In which way will they serve? And what is that service? It is necessary first to surrender to Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, and second, to follow their directives. Service is, what they advise me to do, I will do that. And what is necessary for the satisfaction of Guru? Guru is always giving some instruction to the disciple. And if the disciple tries to serve his Guru accordingly, then he will receive the desired result. If my Guru will say, you go preaching village to village, and if I go village to village, that will be service for me. If Gurudev says, you try and make a center here for preaching Krishna consciousness, and I try to do that with heart and soul, that is my practicing life. Everything depends on the satisfaction of Guru. In the same way, where there is no Guru present, but other Vaishnavas are there, service to the Vaishnava will also go to Guru, and he will be pleased by that. Guru must be perfect. Otherwise, the result will not come out perfectly. So when the devotees are working in their country, they should try to follow the instructions of Guru. They will try within their circumstances to do as much as possible for the satisfaction of Guru and Vaishnava. Otherwise, what will they do? Everyone everywhere spends their life for eating, sleeping, enjoying, fearing, and protecting themselves, and then dying, taking birth and dying. But that is not real life. Real life is that we can do something of eternal value. If anyone can do something in connection with the eternal world, they will receive an eternal result. That connection comes through transcendental knowledge, consciousness, and activity. So we have no other way than to follow the instructions of Guru. If I think the eternal life is good and I want it, I must follow my instructor. If he is a perfect devotee, what he will say will be good for me. Otherwise, if my instructor is not perfect, the result also may not be good. So east or west, south or north, everywhere it is necessary to follow Gurudev as perfectly as possible. Follow means that his order is sufficient for us. Do this and you'll be satisfied. But strong faith is necessary there. Otherwise, it will not be possible to follow in a perfect way. Everything is connected with faith. The Guru is connected with the faithful plane, and when he will give the connection to his disciple, that is also within the faithful plane. Otherwise, so many things can give an auspicious result and a pious future birth. But bhakti is not of that character. Bhaktis tu bhagavad bhakta sangena parijayate. It will grow with the activity of the Atma. So now our activity will be to follow the practitioner's life. Srila Swami Maharaj A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said, first you chant the Mahamantra without counting, then chant by counting on beads, then take Harinam. Before taking Harinam, you must first practice for 6 months or 1 year. But actually, this is not the real position of the practitioner. The real process is that when you get the beads from a perfect guru, from there you will get the power of the mantra, the Maha Mantra, and his order will give you strength to chant. If you engage attentively in that chanting, you will get a good result. But when he wanted to advise the general mass to chant, but they did not know anything, they had not even heard Hare Krishna before, what was he to do? Some sort of practicing was necessary. When a young boy first tries to write something, he just makes a mark or a line. Then he gradually gains some finer control of his hand, and soon we can see an A or a B taking its proper form. Srila Swami Maharaj tried to engage the Westerners in this way, and no doubt it is one kind of process. It depends upon the mood of the practitioners, and if they will get some clear feelings, then immediately they will try to chant the Maha Mantra perfectly, and at that time help will come from the upper level. Krishna will help them in the form of Guru. So for one who is very active and tries always to be engaged, the instructions of Guru give some work to him, and through that work his mood to practice and increase his bhakti yoga will develop. That work can itself immediately be in the category of bhakti yoga. If someone can practice properly, and if his inner hankering wants that, immediately that job can be transformed into bhakti. Everything depends on the mood of the devotee. Someone may go for collection, someone else may cook, another may clean, but everything depends on the individual's mood, whether it will be karma or bhakti. If someone will follow his guru's instructions in a surrendered mood, it will be bhakti. Otherwise, it would be pious karma. If anyone will follow the instructions of the scriptures and guru, he will always receive a good result. But that is not necessarily bhakti. It is a big difficulty for everyone if they are not conscious of their purpose. Srila Guru Maharaj always emphasized the word consciousness, because everything is living within consciousness. The result depends on the devotee's mental position. So first he must try to cleanse his heart. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Jat karoshi, jadan ashnasi, jat juhoshi, dadati jat. Jat tapasyasi kunteya, tat kurusha madarpanam. Krishna has clarified everything for us and given us a very easy way. Everything you do and everything you want to do, whether eating, sacrificing, going anywhere, etc., connect everything with me. Then that will be bhakti. First, it is necessary to finalize what our need is and what is the process to achieve it. We need bhakti yoga to Krishna. And if we do not want to stay within the illusory environment, and if we feel the necessity to go to the transcendental world, our own home, then with full heart, we must try to achieve that. We shall try to search out that place where it is available and wholeheartedly try to follow the instructions we receive there. This is the main thing for everyone, but circumstances can take us in many ways and to many places. We must try to proceed steadily within our track and not allow ourselves to go out of the track. This is our necessity. So this is very beautiful, wonderful words from our Gurudev, instructions from our Gurudev. We think everyone will be benefit if they take that seriously, what he's telling us. And so that's my thinking, where that title for this evening's Zoom came. What sadhana means? What do we do? What is our sadhana? So this, I think, explains it very nicely. So hopefully now Maharaj is back or not?
I only was away for 30 seconds. I
Okay.
came back. Looking after devotees coming and going.
Okay.
One going. So anyway, this, of course, so we heard the whole, everything that you read, Prabhu. And by the way, that was my, part of it was my first excerpt today. So we were on the same page, as it were. And yes. I do have excerpts, but we've been hearing quite a bit here. But one of the main things really for us all is, what is sadhana really will be what Guru Maharaj and Gurudev have given in Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And sometimes devotees go to other temples and, to ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada's mission. And they say, oh, but they sing their bhajans differently, this, that, or the other. But actually, Srila Prabhupada sent his devotees to Chaitanya Saraswat Math to learn the bhajans and to learn what is an evening program and what is a morning program. So in some way, the whole of their mission is following pretty much what Guru Maharaj gave, except it's adjusted with time, and ours also gently adjusted in time, but adjusted under the supervision and guidance of Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Govinda Goswami Maharaj. So we have more kirtans by Guru Maharaj, for instance, and in due course of time, kirtans by Gurudev. But the morning and evening program, that standard of the Srila Guru Maharaj kept in the mat, that is what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave in substance. Then Guru Maharaj maintaining that and Gurudev giving that. So we can read many places about good advices of what to do, about meditation, about austerities, about penances, about charity. Many things are given in different places in the scripture, and we can take one part and think, oh, this is sadhana, I will do this, I will do this each day, I will do this each day. But what did Gurudev and Guru Maharaj give us to do each day? That will be the balanced diet for us. And sometimes I do explain to devotees, very mathematically, of course, that sadhana is not a four-letter word. We should try to very carefully engage in some devotional activity, a proper devotional activity every day. And that's common in every sphere of sincere search after the Lord, search after satisfying. The chanting of prayers, the chanting of japa also, it's universal on the rosary, on the beads. But the kirtan has been given by Mahaprabhu, the actual kirtan of the loud singing of the Lord's names. And what kirtans will we sing? The songbook essentially has those kirtans which are sung in the mat and which you could say have tick marks beside them. But still within the songbook, there are some kirtans we don't sing, but we will follow along if someone of the caliber of Guru Maharaj or Gurudev will be leading that song. And sometimes, for instance, Radhastami and days like this, then we may follow the recording of Guru Maharaj singing Sri Rupa Manjari, well, maybe not from Radhastami, Sri Rupa Manjari, but some of the high songs. We do have recordings of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev leading those. So we've got in our songbook so we can follow. But those weren't the high songs, were not the ones who were chanted daily or regularly in the temple. So even with the songbook, we need a little guidance of how to use it. But that guidance can come from those who have been living the life of the sadhana that Guru Maharaj and Gurudev gave. So we must try to adopt that lifestyle. And lifestyle means Krishna-centered, God-centered. And so don't forget, everything you eat, everything you do, everything you give away in charity, everything you speak about also, let it be Krishna-centered. And so the regular practices, what we do, then this must have that, like the way to do it as given by our masters. And if I do get a chance, I do have there's something very strong from Guru um, about sadhana, and that it has to be. Now, perhaps I can't immediately find it, but whatever things we do as a routine, it will have its effect as much as we are sincere to aspire to be a devotee of the Lord. Not that we will be doing things for gaining anything, even gaining my inner peace and happiness and things like this. We will be doing this simply for satisfying the Lord. And for our life, everything, then when the Lord is at the center, then everything is harmoniously running. When many people all have the Lord at the center, then there is harmony amongst the variety of the nature of the devotees. Oh, I do have it, dear devotees, from Loving Search for the Lost Servant. And I'll read you just very short. Devashis read from Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj's words, and I'll read a little bit. Srila Guru Maharaj's words. It's not long, but it's really a strong reminder for us of what we should be doing with her. So, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Satyam Atma Nivedam. So, this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Guru Maharaj saying, hearing, speaking about, and remembering Krishna, serving his lotus feet, worshipping his deity form, praying, becoming his servant, cultivating his friendship, and surrendering to him utterly are the 9 processes of devotion. One who cultivates these 9 processes of devotion, offering himself completely to Krishna, can easily attain the ultimate goal of life. That last part was the next part of the verse. Iti pungsha pita Vishnu bhaktai chenna lakshana creator bhagavat yadha tanmanye dhitam uttama. Then Srila Guru Maharaj saying, what are the forms of sadhana? What are the means to attain Krishna Bhakti? How can we revive our innate love of Krishna, our love of God? We are told to hear about him, to talk about him, to meditate upon him, to praise him, and so on. But in his commentary on this verse, Sridhar Swami has explained that we should not anticipate what benefit we shall derive from Shravanam Kirtana, hearing and talking or thinking about Krishna. Rather, we should pray, may whatever service I do go to my Lord. Sorry, I've clicked something here. May whatever service I do go to my Lord. I am not the enjoying party. He is the sole proprietor. So then Srila Guru says, all these functions, Shravana, Kirtana, etc., will be considered devotion only if one condition is fulfilled. Otherwise, they may be karma, jnana, yoga, or anything else. They may even be vikarma, means polluted misdeeds. One condition must be there to ensure that all these different forms of devotional activity are actually bhakti. And what is that condition? That we are his property. We are not the owners of any wealth or property. We must think, quote, my Lord is the possessor and I am his possession. Everything is his property. Anyhow, I won't read on because it had quite a lot of reading. But Krishna says something and says, the stern reality is that devotion is not a cheap thing. Pure devotional service, Shuddha Bhakti, is above mukti and liberation, above the negative plane of liberation. In the positive side, he is the only master. He is the Lord of everything. Hey Govinda. Anyhow, really for our devotional life, for our living life, the life of a God-centered person, then the best sadhana, the best practice is being given by Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. And we hope that in all the temples around the world, wherever you go, you'll find a similar program, but a similar, very recognizable program of us getting nourishment from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, from the books of Gurudev, the books of Guru Maharaj, the books of Srila. But on this occasion, we've got Saraswati in the London temple, in the West London Saraswati in Vila Govinda Ashram. And she is all ready to share things with you on what sadhana.
Maharaj,
So Saraswati, over to you.
Maharaj, where are you? Where are you?
I'm in a place called Shruti. What's it called? Sutri. Sutri.
Ah.
We're trying to do something good.
I'm sure.
Okay, Lavanya Moididi, good to hear from you.
Dhanavad.
Yes, Dandavad. So Saraswati Devi, dasi.
Maybe Lavanya Moyi wanted to share something more.
No, I was
Maybe
asking,
she does.
I was just asking a question. I'm here to listen.
We're, okay, anyways, this Zoom is not about us, it's about the London temple. We can tell you lots of stories, but so can Saraswati. And she's the West London temple senior there.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Dandava pranams.
And by the way, we are very happy to follow the Vila Govinda Ashram program, to hear the whole morning program together and to sing along at the end too. And so we definitely appreciate hearing on a beautiful morning, Vila Govinda Ashram, reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Well done.
Well, what can I say after you have covered all the points from sadhana? What
We haven't.
you have. What comes to mind really is how what I can say is how much of our time are we going to offer in this process of sadhana? How much percentage of our time are we going to sacrifice for doing our own personal sadhana, and also when we are when we are doing our service in a temple environment? So we have to try to be focusing our practice, attentive, following Gurudev's guidance on how to practice the 8 processes of Bhakti, and can say it's in a temple environment. There is well, we can do it in our own time. We can try to practice with some attention, but in a temple environment is a place where there is more intensity in our practice also. It's very helpful for devotees to have that experience, because there is regular programs going on, service, there is lots of service available, and reading, chanting, serving, worshiping the Lord, everything is there. And if we are not able to do that in our own home or in our own time, when we can get an opportunity to engage that and build a strong foundation for our spiritual life, which then later help us to continue practicing wherever we are with a strength practice that help us build our so it is really up to us how much are we able to, how much percentage of our time are we able to give for our devotional practice? Really depends on us, and to kind of discipline for we have to have some discipline to be able to have this practice. Like they say, fake it until you make it. We are in that process, right? So, and we obviously try to do everything with sincerity and with heart, of course, like Devashis Prabhu was saying. Give our full heart and in every service we do, and try to avoid things that are not favorable for our practice. And we read every morning, we sing every morning, accept everything favorable for our devotional practice. So, like Guru said, 24 hours to the service to the Lord is necessary. So we are far away from that, but we are trying to cultivate that, and we get inspired by other devotees who are doing that. So Sadhu Sangha, association with the devotees, and I'm very happy to be here in Villa Govinda because I can see how much the dedication these devotees are giving to the service of Srila Gurudev, and it's so looking so beautiful. Every time I come here, it's just amazing. Really, really, really. And everything is in full bloom and so green, and the lordships are worshipped so beautiful by the devotees. So that's very inspiring to see, and really give us some strength to continue. It's a very good example that the devotees are setting here. So yes, everyone is working really hard and giving 100%, more than 100%. So there is plenty of service opportunity everywhere, isn't it? So we take that opportunity and yeah, try to do it with full heart and sincerity and attention and focus. Okay, we're done our pranams to all the devotees, and yeah, keep going. Prabhu, maybe you want to say something?
Govinda, Govinda. Thank you, Saraswati. And by the way, we do have questions. I don't know whether Saraswati likes to answer them, but we have long, well, it's not a long question, but we do have a question from Lilavati. It's in Russian, but translated into English by Udaran Prabhu. She says, my dandavats to all the devotees. I have a question about faith. If a person has no faith, then no amount of explanation and proof will help incline a person to faith. But if there is even a little bit of faith, then there is no need for proof. How can we realize that a person has no faith? So this is like one part of the question. Then what is the difference between faith and sukriti? And part 3 of the question, is it possible to lose faith? So actually, there's some big questions there.
That's maybe for you, Maharaj, or Devashis Prabhu, I think you will answer very nicely.
First of all, it is very difficult to know about others. Really, we have to look at ourselves, about our faith first. So we need to check, have I really got faith, or are we doing something routine, etc., etc. But I know that this is related to not to chant the glories of the Lord to those who are faithless. It's related to that, no doubt. So we need to just try to use our best discrimination by the conversation that you have with somebody. If you already know them, you have a pretty good idea, do they have faith or not? But if you're meeting someone for the first time, there needs to be a little dialogue just to see. And like in the West, we were saying the other day, nobody in all my time in India said, hey, do you believe in God? Do you believe in reincarnation? Do you believe in karma? Never these things were asked when I was in India. But we're in the West. We're in London. We'll be in London very soon. So, but Leelavati is not. But so wherever we are, still the West. Then we need to just understand from some conversation, about your faith in the Lord, etc. So how can we realize that a person has no faith? Well, you will feel very sad when you meet. I think that's probably an answer. You're not able to have any proper conversation with them, see that there's no faith. But I think that everybody has some faith hidden inside. And really, this is Nityananda Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Bhaga, coming to wake up that sleeping faith that's within people. So we need to try to wake up people's faith, including our own, because full faith, that is in Goloka Vrindavan. So and it's also in Vaikuntha, no doubt. But then there is gradation of intensity, and Goloka Vrindavan is the actual. And what is the difference between faith and sukriti? Well, they're related because doing, first of all, unknowingly doing something good for the Lord's devotees, who are very dear to him, by the way, very dear to the Lord. All the devotees are dear to the Lord. So to do something good for the devotees, even unknowing, the Lord will be pleased. And that being pleased with someone is the build-up of their supreme. Oh, the Lord's a little happy. I did something for a devotee. And so after some point, then that faith becomes more solid. And then you start to look, how can I serve the devotees? How can I please the Lord more and more? Then we go for what's called Gyata Sukriti. So knowingly we try to increase our faith by being with the devotees in service attitude, service mood. And is it possible to lose faith? Unfortunately, it is possible to lose faith, and especially by Vaishnava aparad. We mentioned just now the Lord, the devotees are very dear to the Lord. The Lord is very pleased by everyone who's coming to try to serve him. So if we offend those devotees, then you can understand that the Lord is displeased. So we must try our best to stay well away from Vaishnava aparad, not to let our mind go to offense to the Lord's devotees, and rather try to cultivate our mind to give appreciation to the Lord's devotees. And we heard a quotation from Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj about, in the material world, there are two things that anybody, any living entity, any sadhu, also even in the material world, two things they are very cautious about. They have some fear that they will lose their faith is one, and that they will be swallowed by Maya is the second one. And we heard that quote on different occasions from Srila Goswami Maharaj. And when we understand that, when we see that even the great souls, and they're very cautious to protect these two super possessions, that we can be free from Maya as much as possible, and that we can have faith as much as possible. So anyhow, maybe a short answer to a longer question. And I can ask too, Devashis, you are there, and you give us something practical for everybody, practical for us to have faith, not lose faith, and practical for us also on the line of sadhana. If we carefully try to do daily sadhana, getting nourished spiritually daily, this will certainly help us, and the Lord will be pleased. The more He is pleased, the more we are pleased. But there are many things actually we can say. Devashis, I pass the microphone back to you. It's a London Zoom. Let us hear from you.
Yeah, Maharaj, we have a few more minutes, but it's very, as you say, Sukriti and faith are very much interconnected. But more than that, we can say that faith is born from Sukriti. So this is, being described by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, how the progress of a person's consciousness in the faithful world starts with Ado Shraddha. Ado Shraddha means faith. It means, like the awakening of faith. And the awakening of faith before Ado Shraddha is, as Maharaj said, Gyata and Agyata Sukriti. So that means getting some unknown and then later some known merit by trying to satisfy the Vaishnavas. So may not even know that they're doing something for a Vaishnava. Maybe they're a nurse in the hospital and they give some service to a Vaishnava without even knowing what is a Vaishnava, who is a Vaishnava, anything. But by doing some service for them, then they get some Agyata Sukriti. Or maybe one devotee on his way to the temple steals a flower from your garden and takes that and offers it to Krishna. Then the person who grew that flower, they get the Sukriti for that. A very nice flower growing in the garden. Devotee plucks that flower and takes it to the temple to offer to Krishna. Then as your faith develops, then you want to do something for the pleasure of Krishna. Before they stole the flower from your garden, now you are taking the flowers from your garden to offer to Krishna. So this is Sukriti, and Sukriti is always working in the background as much as we're able to try and satisfy Hari, Guru and Vaishnava, some Sukriti coming to us. And the result of that is faith. Faith comes in the Vaishnavas and the desire for Sadhu Sangha. And Sadhu Sangha means the association of the saintly devotees, as much as they're available to help us, as much as we can aspire for that, in the form directly, their association, or through hearing their words, reading their words recorded in their books, and so many. That's also a type of Sadhu Sangha. And then from Sadhu Sangha, then comes Bhajana Kriya. That means to practice Krishna consciousness under the direction of a Vaishnava. So we mustn't forget that that part of the equation has to always be there. The Vaishnava has to be part of the equation. It's not that just that sadhana bhakti just means following a process. It must be in connection with the sadhu, with the Vaishnava. Otherwise, as Guru Maharaj said, what we were reading, and Gurudev also saying, it may not be bhakti, just some pious karma. There may be the same activity externally, but the difference is that in the equation is the Vaishnava. The Vaishnava has given me this responsibility. And not that I just made it up or read something and thought, yeah, that'll be good for me to do that. But something coming directly from the Vaishnava. Do this every day. Sweep the floor in Krishna's temple every day, if you can. Then if that direction is coming from the Vaishnava, that may be more valuable to follow that direction than it is to study the scripture or do any other kind of what we regard as devotional service. Devotional service coming from Guru and Vaishnava is real devotional service, because they are connected with Krishna. And then what they give us to do, that will be connected with that plane, the plane of reality. So, often we give this example that if when you want to charge your mobile phone, you have to plug it into the wall, and as long as it's connected with the with the current coming from the electric company, you'll see the bars going up on your phone as it's charging. But if you plug it in and there's no connection behind that, there's no, everything may be there, all the wiring and everything, but if it's not connected to the electric company, it's not going to do anything. Your phone will just stay as dead as it was when you plugged it in. So similarly, our service has to be connected with the plane of service, the divine plane. And that connection comes through the authorized source, coming through the Guru and Vaishnava. They are the lifeline. They are the connecting principle that connects us, really connects us with divinity. So this is how we develop faith. And faith is always developing. It's not just like, we're not, when we talk about faith, generally, we're not talking about what I believe and what you believe, because that's a very nebulous thing that can change at any moment. I believe this, or no, or now today I believe that. And no, it actually means Shraddha means an awakening of an inner faith, an inner knowledge, you can say, but an inner conviction. So Guru Maharaj is saying, first there is Shravan Das, when you hear from the scripture or from the Vaishnava. Then Apan Das means you act on that. I heard it, yes, I think it's correct, and then I act on that. I follow that. So then this is how devotion progresses and how faith progresses, how faith grows. So once we act on what we've heard from Guru and Vaishnava, then we start to see the result of that in our life, and then that gives us more faith. And this way our life progresses, spiritual life progresses. But as Maharaj very rightly said, we always have to guard against Vaishnava Aparad, because Vaishnava Aparad is considered to be the like a wild mad elephant in your flower garden. If you have a very nice flower garden and you let a mad elephant run through it, in a very short time there won't be anything left of that flower garden. So that Vaishnava Aparad, to harbor some bad feeling towards a Vaishnava, that can almost destroy our devotional progress. What we've met, it's the only thing actually which can interfere with our devotional progress. So we have to be very careful about that. We hear that Gadadhar Pandit, if anyone would make any criticism of any Vaishnava in front of him, he would immediately put his fingers in his ears and go away from that place. He feared that so much. And who is he? And who are we? So, then that we have to be very careful about, because that can be the cause of the loss of our faith, the destruction of our faith, you can say. So anyway, our hour is up. We're actually running a little bit late again, but very nice.
Today is Ekadashi, so a little longer Hare Katha on Ekadashi is very befitting. Do something extra. And actually, there is another question. Maybe we can start this for the next time. But anyhow, it's definitely too big to answer in one sitting, I was going to say, which is also too big to answer in one sitting, but certainly in 1 minute. And that's Rasanand who are asking, what is humility? Okay, Rasanand, thank you very much for your question.
Okay. We can consider
we'll work
next
on that
week.
in the meantime.
That may be our subject matter for next time. What is humility?
All right.
Very good question.
Yes, over to you. We'll sign out from here, but appreciating the company of all of the devotees here.
Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Kuluchuramani Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Rupa Nuga Guru Bhargya Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. All the worldwide devotees ki jai. Samadvaita Vaishnava Mandali ki jai. Shri Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you very
And
much.
Jai Sriman Devashis Prabhu ki jai. And to
Jai.
our translators, Hari Gopal Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
And Chaitanya Devi Rasi ki jai.
Jai.
And all of your smiling faces ki jai.
Jai. Jai. Jai.
Hari.
Jai.
Dandruff Maharaj.
Vanchakaupatarubhyascha vipasindubhya evata
Patitanam
patitanam
Pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo.
Vaishnavebhyo. Om.
In Ireland and all places, we won't have time to list everyone here today. 50 devotees joining us very happily with you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Amra Ashti.
Ami Jasti. Dandruff Maharaj.
Jasten.
Madhusudan.
No, Jabina. Ashten.
Dandruff Madhusudan Maharaj.
Dan was Ramananda. Hare Krishna.